And you are now live.
All right, thank you. This is Senate Appropriations, and we're continuing our work on the budget adjustment. And now we're going to take testimony on a funding request that's coming from our Senate Agriculture Committee. And I see Senator Starr has brought in adjunct staff, whatever. And so we have
heavy hitters.
Yeah, I see that. So we have Mike O'Grady and we have Nolan Langweil. And so are you wanting to present this request, or do you, I know that you've talked to us a little bit about it would be a form of premium assistance to our dairy farmers, and it would be particularly helpful to our smaller producers. And it's a federal benefit, and it's something that your committee has been taking testimony on. And of course, it comes with a price tag, and some of it would be 22 possibly expenditure because of timing, and maybe 23 as well. So I'm going to let you, Senator Starr, determine how you want the presentation to go, whether you want Mike to be the presenter, or Nolan, or yourself, or whatever. Totally up to you.
Well, I think I told the committee we worked on this. We worked on a multiple amount of projects all summer with the Dairy Task Force Committee, and this one issue that I'll have Michael explain came up by many of the participants, people that came in to testify about how much it helped the farming community during the past year. And during that, those presentations, I think it was one of the federal workers, maybe it was a dairy marketing person, that said, well, you could use federal money to cover the premium cost, and you'd automatically save farmers up to 15 cents a hundredweight on that right off to start. And this past year, this program paid something like $1.57 a hundredweight. Well, we determined during the discussions that in total, farmers lost about $3 a hundredweight producing milk here in Vermont. And so this one program last year covered almost 50% of their losses. So our committee, when we got back in January, we took this back up for one of the first issues, and decided that we would, put a plan together to present to you folks, or us folks, on appropriations, to see if you would go along with the paying of that 15 cents. And the sign up ends in February, and we wanted to get it in before the end of the sign up so that it would encourage all of our farmers to sign up. So with that, I'll have Michael describe how he wrote the bill up for us, and then Olin will give us a report on the numbers, the cost numbers.
Well, let me ask before Mike starts. You've got a bill that you want. Do you want the bill to move separately from the BAA and carry an appropriation? Is that what your plan is?
No, I was thinking we would just add it into the BAA, but I wanted to send you the information that we had so that we could, just write it up so it would fit into the BAA budget.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So Mike, I guess you're on next.
Good afternoon. This is Mike O'Grady with the Office of Legislative Counsel. So just to give you a little bit more background about what the program is that the state would be providing premium assistance for. The federal farm bill, the last version of it, authorize a couple of different risk management programs to help farmers when either their cost of milk fell or the cost of feed increased. And one of those programs is called the Dairy Margin Coverage Program. And what it does is a farmer elects to effectively insure their production of milk at a certain level. And if the cost of milk falls below that, or cost falls below a difference between the cost of milk and the cost of feed, then they get a payment out from the federal government for that difference, that margin. So that's the dairy margin coverage. And if it doesn't fall below that, if the cost of the price of milk that they're receiving is higher than the threshold, then they don't receive anything. And they just get the benefit of that higher milk price. Now there's two tiers that generally a dairy farmer can insure themselves in. The first tier is up to 5 million pounds of production a year. So they can insure themselves up to 5 million pounds. And the highest amount that they can insure up to 5 million pounds is $9.50. So that would be how you would determine the margin. You would subtract the difference between the milk price and the feed price, and you would subtract that from $9.50. And that would give you the margin that they would receive if it fell below $9.50. Now that's tier one. And the premium to pay for up to 5 million coverage on 5 million pounds at the $9.50 amount is 15 cents per hundredweight. Now, tier two is much higher. It allows the farmer to insure anything over 5 million pounds produced annually. And that the premium is much higher for that, because you can imagine the amount that's being produced and the amount that you would need coverage on over 5 million pounds can be significantly more. So the premium is significantly more. What the Dairy Task Force learned over the summer is that some states, Maryland and Virginia specifically, are paying the premium for a farmer to participate in the first tier up to 5 million pounds and up to $9.50 for coverage. So they're paying 15 cents per hundredweight of eligible milk. And that's what this language would propose to do. It would propose to establish a program at the Agency of Agriculture where the agency would really reimburse a farmer for the premiums they paid for participation in the dairy margin coverage program. And it's set up as a reimbursement on purpose, because as you just heard Senator Starr say, the sign-up date is approaching quickly. It's February 18th. And even though you'll move the budget adjustment quickly, even though it might get signed by the governor fast, that's not going to give farmers enough time to apply to the agency and get money so that they can pay their premium. Even though you can pay your premium under this program later in the year, it's better. And some farmers have already paid in for this year. So it's set up as a reimbursement, and the secretary establishes the assistance program for providing the premium assistance. And if the farmer is in good standing with the Agency of Agriculture, meaning that they have no regulatory enforcement actions against them, and then they provide the proof of payment of their premium or participation in tier one of DMC, they get reimbursed their premium payment for the 2022 year.
Excuse me, Mike, there's some kind of rattling noise or something. Does somebody have a?
I think it's Mike's microphone.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's happened in Senate Judiciary. It rubs against my vest. Sorry.
oh. Okay.
There we go.
That better?
I think so. Yes. Thank you. Sorry to make you. I
It's
hope your
okay.
room isn't cold.
No, it's freezing. That's why I've got the
Oh.
vest on. So,
Oh.
but I'll survive.
Okay.
So that is basically how the program is set up, and it's set up very basically. And I drafted that on purpose because the last time that the dairy assistance was set up from the CRF funds, there was feedback from both the agency and the dairy community that it was too difficult to navigate, and therefore not as many people participated in that program as hoped for. This is
Mike, that noise hasn't gone away, so put your vest back on and stay warm.
okay. Well, I'll try to that
It's your
The-
beard, Mike. So
maybe it is.
If you could shave, that would be great.
Don't do that. It took him a long time to get that.
Or maybe just make a round, smooth patch right where the,
Maybe I'll just like a little circle.
You see, our committee just tries to be so helpful to problem solve. Oh, okay.
But that it's a very basically constructed program. All that's required is the farmer be in good standing, show proof of participation in the DMC program, and then they also have to show that they're compliant with their tax, their tax ID identification, and that's it. And why is this beneficial? Because it can actually return up to $17 per hundredweight on the milk. It can really be a valuable program for farmers. And I said $17. It's basically 17 times what's paid in.
Yeah,
The farmers can get back.
yeah, 17 times.
And
assuming that there's that gap.
Yeah,
right.
Uh-huh.
And it's remember, it is a risk mitigation program,
Mhm.
right? So risk means that there's also the risk that you don't get a benefit from the
Yeah.
program.
Mhm.
It's a bit of a hedge, but considering the cost of production for farmers has been much higher than the price that they have been receiving over the past 3 years. And honestly, the cost of the premium in order to basically provide the security, the surety to farmers that they would receive this coverage if it does fall below that $9.50 margin. That's what the task force and that's what the committee is recommending.
Okay. And so for this year, because of the deadline in February, what this would be is a reimbursement to the farmers that have opted to participate. And it would be at tier 1 and the 5 million pound. So it's really targeting that group
small.
of Vermont producers.
Right. Now it's available to every producer because it's available up to 5 million pounds.
Mhm.
So even the largest producer
Right.
can participate up to 5 million pounds, but they will quickly
Mhm.
produce out
Yeah.
of that tier, but they will not get additional state assistance for coverage if they're going to get tier 2 assistance.
Yeah, you said the premium was very high. Could they actually pay the tier 2 premium themselves?
No.
I'll just tell you the difference between tier 1 and tier 2. So where'd it go? So 15 cents is the tier 1 premium for up to 5 million pounds at the $9.50 coverage level. The highest coverage level you can get in tier 2 is $8. and the premium is $1.81 per hundredweight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we
So
don't-
that's a significant difference.
And we don't have, I don't think we had anyone testify that they signed up for the tier 2. It was all, even the big guys, we had them in to testify, and they supported the tier 1.
So where is the Agency of Ag? They would have to administer the reimbursement.
Yeah.
Have
And
they-
I talked with Diane about it, and, they were fine with that. They could handle it, because Michael did an excellent job simplifying the system. And of course, it was probably due to him spending all summer with us, and then all this since we been back in session.
Yeah, that might have been worse than staffing the pension task force. My
I
question.
did a little bit of that too.
Oh, you did? Oh, you had a nice summer then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the estimated cost? And
Yeah.
would this reimbursement be done in 22?
Yeah,
I'm
in
gonna-
fiscal.
Right.
In fiscal 22, because they either pay it, they can pay at the beginning or at the end, I think it is.
Right.
So it would be for the year of 22.
Okay.
Maybe Nolan can give us the breakdown on the numbers where we kind of went with the total overall cost. Nolan?
Sure. For the record, Nolan Langwell, the Joint Fiscal Office. The committee looked at several different approaches on how to reimburse, and the method that they landed on, we estimated would be about $2.6 million. That estimate came from working with Diane Bothfeld from Ag, and she told me that in December there were 568 dairy cow farms. There were probably about 135 of those farms that would hit that 5 million per year easily. The remaining 433 would hit a declining proportion of that. So we tried to split the difference. And that's how we sort of came up with a 2.6 million, the sense that some would hit the $7,500 premium, many would not. And this is sort of an estimate. The other thing that's in here is that the funds that are appropriated, that are unexpended, would carry forward into 23 as well. So there was no good way to know that this is too much or not enough.
And the two, Nolan, the two states, they were using ARPA money.
I don't know.
Oh, the states that are doing this, they were using federal funds, I believe, Michael, right?
I don't think they were using ARPA, because I think both of them had this program implemented prior to ARPA being signed. So I think they were likely using CRF money.
Oh. Is it possible to get a ruling whether we can use this? I know that the administration's obviously wanting to do more business grants, and certainly our ag sector is an important part of the economy. So I was just wondering whether this could be funded as part of that economic support and under ARPA. But we haven't had we haven't asked for a determination.
No,
I don't believe we have, no.
no. But we can check that out, I'm sure.
We have Mike in Ledge Council. You're on the group of, is there what, Jen and you and a couple of other attorneys?
It's Jen and Becky from Ledge Council, and Catherine, and I guess Sarah from JFO.
Okay. It would be nice to know if that's an option in terms of funding source.
Okay.
in my book, it's a way of assisting a part of our, a business sector that has tremendous value when you think about if they ended up, say, returning money, what that means to the economy, because it all will go back. But also, I know that farms had a hard time accessing any of those grants through ACCD. So the assistance that they got was somewhat limited.
So I will email that group right now.
All right, thank you. Other questions of Mike or Nolan or Senator Starr? Is this, did you take a vote in committee?
Yes, it was 5-0 in our committee.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so
And-
what we have here is a request for 2.6 million, source of funds yet to be determined. What did, Stephanie, let's see, what did they do with working lands? That was ARPA.
That was ARPA, $2 million, I believe.
Uh-huh.
So that's federal money, right?
Right.
So I don't see what the difference would be between that and.
Well, it's the
Yeah.
purpose, in terms of how you're using the federal money. And that's what this, internal group has really been focused on, is permissibility of the federal funds.
Yeah.
But the House did do something on working lands. Other questions about
So-
this program? Yes, sorry, Mike.
When would you like to know so I can give them a time frame for feedback?
So,
We're going to be probably we're trying to get the budget numbers finalized by Friday. So then we can look at, what we have for funding.
Okay. All right.
I mean, the fallback could be general fund, obviously, but it's nice to know whether we have a choice.
Okay.
So, could I ask, so just
Yes,
give
go ahead, Alice.
timeline, I think that, did you, Mike, say like February 18th or something, that the applications have to be in?
Yep.
that's 17th or 18th.
Pretty tight.
Oh, that's why they're
Wow.
doing a reimbursement. We're not paying the premium up front.
Okay, do a reimbursement.
And hopefully they'll sign up, because it's really quite a boost and even if, let's say, the price of milk goes sky high and the price of feed hits the bottom, just having that assurance that they are covered in case, which it hasn't in the past 3 years been the other way around. They have that assurance that they are covered in case the price of milk stays where it's been and the cost of feed goes up. So it's a pretty good peace of mind for, I think we do about $3 billion in milk sales a year. It's in that neighborhood. So
This
Very
is
good.
just dairy. It's not other.
yeah,
It's not
Just
other.
dairy.
I mean, it's not goats and sheep milk and whatever.
no,
Yeah.
and
It take
those
quite a big
guys-
herd to get 5 million, but
those guys, they get a lot of help through the Working Lands program, the other people. But dairy, I don't know of anything where they apply it for Working Lands grants, but Phil?
Madam Chair, I was going to say I have to drop off for a call with the Champlain Housing Trust people.
mhm.
So I didn't want to just pop off, but
Okay. All right. Well, I think unless you have any further questions, we've gotten the testimony, we've got the request, so we can get clarification on potential funding. So that's fine. Thank you, Phil. Other questions? Word is out. Senator Westman said he'd been contacted by several farmers in his district in support. So must be people have been listening to your testimony and
Oh,
Senate.
yeah, they're excited, yeah.
What is the mechanism by which they are notified of this program? Does Ag notify them?
Well, they can through, through the Ag Review and publications, and I would hope that a letter would go to the different co-ops and the buyers of their milk, so it would push them to get signed up.
Okay.
Do you have any one pager or any explanation of this that I could send to the farmers that have asked me about it?
On
Maybe
the dairy,
Michael does.
on the dairy margin coverage program in
Yes.
general?
In
Yeah,
gen-
sure.
Because I've got I've had 2 farmers contact me about this.
About this program or the just federal program in general?
About this program,
Okay.
yes.
All right, so it's really the parameters under which this is being proposed. And
Yep.
it's the tier 1, it's, the 5 million.
How
And
close is this to the program
reimbursement.
we did before, Bobby?
Pardon?
How close is this to the program that we did before?
We did a
That we
loan
did.
buy down.
Yeah, this is a program, we've never done this before. And, but it's a program that got stuck into the federal farm bill. And I didn't even think that, there was any hope of us paying the premium until we got, we're holding those hearings this summer, and I think it was the market administrator. It was one of the big dairy guys that brought this in, and then all the testimony that we took in regards to this, everybody was very supportive. And that's why when we got back to Montpelier, I brought it up before the committee that, there was a lot of support for this. And like we were getting last year, the farmers got 10 times, for spending 15 cents, they got $1.70, I think it was, or 70 some odd cents. Well, anytime you can spend $1 and make 10, you want to be jumping onto it.
I understand that. So the last program we did was loan buy down, correct?
Right.
And was that last year or the year?
No, it was like
Oh.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It was back when Tim was pro tem, and I don't even think it was his last year. So it was a while back that we provided assistance. It's been quite a while.
And that worked very well too. The only program that really didn't work very good is last year's program, and it was set up not by us. It was set up so complicated that farmers couldn't get into it.
Okay.
So this one, we've gone back to doing it ourselves and making it so it'll be accessible.
Any other questions on this? So the consensus of the committee was that the chances are that there would be a benefit paid to farmers under this program, that we would not see prices of feed be down and the prices of milk up enough so that it would be that there wouldn't be some gap between the two.
Yep.
Okay, I apologize for my tomcat. He is really, I don't know. Other questions? Thank you. I realize it's now just a little after 4, and we were going to go through 4. We've done quite a bit. We'll just have to keep plugging away. as we mark up. And if we have any questions, and Mike, you can just let us know about whether ARPA is a potential funding source for this benefit.
Yeah, I want to thank Michael and Nolan for
Yeah,
their work, done well.
all right. Well,
I think
thank
you
you.
should thank us too.
Yeah, we still
Well, you
have
haven't-
to agree, Senator Starr.
You
Yeah.
haven't, you
You thank
haven't
Michael
voted yet.
and Nolan.
Well, Bobby, you better be nice.
Yeah.
I'm always nice. Or I should say, I'm always good, just some days I'm better than others.
Well, I